Hi, I'm Dr. Khurrum Shaukat Yusafzai. Right on the GT road, which is known as Sher-Shah Suri Road, there is University of Peshawar, and the University of Peshawar has a Pashto Academy dedicated to the Pashto language. It is situated on top of a mound which is 2,500 years old in the BC era, and it was a Buddhist mound. Near this mound is actually a grave which is very peculiar because it is a grave of a giant. It's 90 yards long. This grave is very mysterious because nobody knows who is buried inside of it. There are legends associated with it. Some people say they are prophets because after Prophet Adam there were so many prophets, and these are the prophets which belong to the era which is before the 1500 years of Islam. But they can be maybe Muslim people who died here, maybe traveling on the road and preaching Islam, because this road is a very big road which comes from Kabul to Jalalabad to Peshawar right here, and then it goes to Attock, crossing the whole Pakistan, going into Delhi in India, and ultimately to Bangladesh, and ending at the Arabian Sea, 3,000 kilometers long. And this grave is situated right next to that Grand Trunk Road, also known as Sher-Shah Suri Road, because it was made by the Pashtun king in 1550 after he metalled it. Before, this road was present, but it was non-metalled. Later on, the British also metalled it. So the direction of this grave is towards the north at the head, and the feet points towards the south, and the right side points towards the west, towards the Mecca. So my theory is either this grave belongs to a Muslim or to a Buddhist, because this is the direction which those two religions follow. And since Peshawar is part of the Indus Valley civilization and the Gandhara Valley, because this valley extends right up to Jalalabad and Kabul Valley, and all the Buddhist and the Gandhara Valley civilization archaeological evidence are present here. So maybe this holy man was a Buddhist, or maybe it is even before that, but my bet is on the Buddhist or a Muslim saint, but the legends say otherwise. And I will show you today 4 graves, and the legends all around those graves talk about the same thing, that these are the prophets of God. In Islam, in the Quran, it says that there are 124,000 prophets sent by God to earth in different parts of the world, and believe in those prophets are part of the Islamic faith. So recently in Saudi Arabia, giant skeletons were found which confirm that they were giant people before the great flood of the Prophet Noah. The direction of the grave intrigued me because it's exactly like the Muslim grave. It points towards north, feet towards south, and its right side it points towards the Mecca. So I confirmed it with my app, the direction of the grave. So here is a brief history of the burial practices. The Muslims bury their loved ones pointing towards the north in the northern hemisphere, and if it is in the southern hemisphere they point towards the south, but the right side of their face points towards west as always, because in the west it is the Mecca. But the Judeo-Christians' graves are in the east-west direction. So these graves, all 4 of them I found, were not in the Judeo-Christian graves direction. They were mostly in the Muslim and the Buddhist grave direction. So that was pretty interesting, and it points towards the history of this grave, or whatever legend associated with it. Let me take you to another grave. This is situated right in the center of Peshawar, right on the GT road, although the GT road was interrupted here because of the formation of the cantonment, Peshawar Kent, by the British just 100 years ago. So in the cantonment, the Tariq Road, which is near the Edwards College, it has this grave, and the dimensions are exactly similar to the grave I found in the near the Pashto Academy. And the general direction was north, the feet was toward the south, and the right side of the grave was pointed towards the west, towards Mecca. So the people who were keeping up the grave told me that this belongs to prophets pre-Islamic, and they were pretty convincing, and they had genealogy, and they respected the grave, and they had dedicated themselves to it. Generally, these graves are found in the F-Pak area, especially in the Pashtun areas of Pakhtunkhwa. Pakhtunkhwa is the province which has a border with Afghanistan. It's right, the Grand Trunk Road or the GT Road passes through it. And Peshawar is one of the capital of Pakhtunkhwa province. So this is the second grave I found in Peshawar. Mostly these giants are found in the Afghanistan, Pakistan, and there is another one which I will tell you and show you is in Mansehra in Abbottabad. So near after you cross Attock, if you turn towards north, you will reach Mansehra. Mansehra is the land of Pakhtuns, and in Mansehra there is another grave also known as No Ghazi. No Ghazi, No means 9 and Gaz means the yard. So these graves are commonly called No Ghazi Baba. So the first one and the second one and the third and the fourth one, all of them are called No Ghazi Babas because their length is 9 yards. 9 yards is like 12 to 15 feet long people. And the skeletons which were found by the Aramco company, the company American Oil Drilling Company, which does oil exploration in Saudi Arabia, they found very big skeletons, and now we have evidence that they were giants living on earth. And the holy books also tell us about the giants, like the Bible and the old Torah Testament says that before the prophet Noah, there were giants roaming the earth, and maybe this belongs to that area. So there are theories, a lot of them which explained a bit about it, but still it's a mystery, and I hope some people come up with plausible explanation, and maybe somebody has information, maybe they can comment at the bottom of this video. So I was really intrigued, and the people of Peshawar respect these graves as prophet. They come here, they pray for them, and they also respect them, and there are people who have dedicated their life to take care of them. Both the graves, the first one near the Pashto Academy and this one, is frequently visited by people who come here to pray and offer Fatiha. So the location of the graves are very strange, because most of the religions have come from Afghanistan, like the Hinduism, then came Buddhism. Actually, the ashes of Lord Buddha was found here in Peshawar and also in Swat in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, and they are found in the museum there. The ashes in Peshawar were sent to Nepal by the British 100 years ago, although Peshawar is the place where his ashes, after he died, and as Buddhists cremate their loved and dear ones, but the practice of burial by the Buddhists also exists, and their direction is also same as the Muslim. So my theory is that either they are Buddhist, because this is part of the Gandhara Valley civilization. So either they are Buddhist holy men, or they are Muslims, maybe later one, or maybe they are prophets, which cannot be proved except by good research and some other clues. I hope somebody watching this video might help me, but I really have no answers. As all the three lost religions, like the Judaism, the Christianity, and Islam, all believe in the prophets, which started from Prophet Adam, then his sons, and then we have the Abraham, Prophet Abraham, his son Isaac, Ishaq, and Ismail, and then Yaqub, his son Prophet Yusuf, and then David, Dawood, and Suleiman. And most of the names, since the Pashtun people say that they are descendants of Jacob, Prophet Yaqub, so this is interesting. Maybe it has some link with the genealogy of Pashtuns. And this graves also contained, interestingly, candle places where you can lit the candles. So this tradition goes to the Abrahamic and the Jacob and Hazrat Yaqub and Hazrat Prophet Yusuf and the Bani Israeli, you can say Bani Israeli tradition. So maybe there is a link, because the Pashtuns also burn candles on Saturday, which is Sabbath, on their graves. And over here I found evidence of candle lighting on these graves, these ancient graves, and they are pretty long and ancient, so pretty interesting. Nowadays the Pashtuns are slowly they are forgetting their past traditions of lighting up the candles, and most of the graves are now in Islamic tradition, made of marble and slab-like things. But the old graves, definitely I found a lot of candle-lit areas. The third grave, as you can see, is in Mansehra, which is north from the Grand Trunk Road when you're going towards Kashmir. So on the way you pass through Abbottabad and then Mansehra. In Mansehra there's also 9 yards giant grave by Nogazi, also known as Nogazi, just like the other two. The third one is also Nogazi. And then if you ask the people around, they will tell you the same legend of being a prophet of God. If you go further north, you reach Kashmir from Mansehra. So Kashmir is the place where legends that many prophet and holy men are there. And incidentally, there is a grave over there as well, which I will just show you. And if you go to south from Mansehra and go down, you will find a grave called Nogazi Baba, or the same 9 yards grave in Karor Pakka near Bahawalpur in South Punjab. South Punjab was actually part of Afghanistan before 1900, before the British annexed this area. And this is the grave which I told you a bit before in Kashmir, which is north from Mansehra, and very beautifully decorated with a lot of work. So I hope you liked my video, and please subscribe to my channel and press the bell icon so we meet again for interesting documentaries.